The time has come for the Cobra to rise up and reveal himself.
So now let's take a look at each country's PPC, and now let's illustrate the terms of trade, creating a point outside the PPC for both, and gains of trade as well. So America is producing bushels of oranges, and they are going to produce 75 bushels of oranges and 0 bushels of apples, because they're going to specialize in just oranges. And Israel is specializing in apples, producing 400 bushels of apples and 0 bushels of oranges. Let's say that America wants to, they agree to that 1-4-3, and America wants to keep 50 bushels of oranges. And so that means America will send 25 bushels of oranges. So we have America comes down to 50. America sends 25 bushels of oranges to Israel. And Israel, if America is going to send 25 bushels because it wants to maintain 50 bushels of oranges, let's say hypothetically, if Israel is going to send if America is going to send 25 bushels of oranges, Israel must send 75 bushels of apples. So minus 75. Gives us 325. And those 75. Go to the United States. So now America is going to get 75 bushels of apples, and now this could put America, it has 50 oranges, and now apple-wise can now achieve a point beyond its PPC. Because let's say here, America could do 50 and 50. America's gains of trade would now be plus 25 bushels of apples. It has achieved a point outside the PPC with trade. Let's say pre-trade, America at its PPC can do 50 and 50, and now post-trade, America will now have 75 bushels of apples, so it will be up 25 bushels of apples. And now Israel will have 25 oranges and now let's say pre-trade, Israel at its maximum could be at 25,300. Let's say this was its all maximum. Post-trade, Israel now has 25, what it normally could have done on its own, but plus, because it was efficient, because it was actually sacrificing less and had a better terms of trade, Israel is now at 325 bushels of oranges and 325 bushels of apples. So Israel too, ironically, is also plus 25 bushels of apples. So, and here is our new with trade. It is outside of the PPC. So we see that both nations have now benefited from trade. If each nation pre-trade, let's say America pre-trade was 50 and 50, and Israel pre-trade was 25 and 300, now post-trade, America is 50 and 75 instead of 50 and 50, so it's plus 25 bushels of apples. And Israel is also plus 25 bushels of apples because of pre-trade it was 25 oranges, 300 apples. Post-trade it is 325 apples and 25 oranges. So still the same amount of oranges, but an additional plus 25 bushels of apples. So here we see the visualization of that a fair terms of trade, and the key thing is fair. And in our next lesson we're going to take a look at, well, why might nations want to have barriers to trade, but the key thing is what David Ricardo stresses is fair trade. Fair trade allows both nations to have more than they could on their own, and this interdependency based on a fair terms of trade allows each nation to achieve a point outside of its PPC. Thank you for watching. Remember, whether it is your money, your mind, or your body, invest hard, invest often, and no feelings. And remember, money never sleeps.